What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Baby Shaq, and I'm here to help you become profitable. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So I'm going to be breaking down the trade that I took today. And let's go to the 1 hour time frame initially. So right now, this is what the trade setup looks like. This is the liquidity targets, etc. I already took a partial profit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this and I'm going to give you like a quick top-down analysis. So right now, the structure is slightly looks like bullish, but let me check. So I'm on the 4 hour. This is my low, higher high, and then this is a lower low, lower high, lower low, and then a higher high on the 4 hour, making us bullish on the 4 hour time frame, or at least seeing a possible push up. So that would be a 4 hour break of structure. And then when I went to my 1 hour, we were slightly bearish on the 1 hour. So let me show you the 1 hour structure. It looks a little different from TradingView. So I'll go to the 30-minute. We have this high, this low, this high, this low, and then we start to push to the downside right here. Now you can see that this is my 30-minute break of structure right here. So now that kind of makes me bearish on the 30-minute time frame from this high right here to this low. So we can see inside of here we swept liquidity, so we may get a reaction inside of here, which you can see we initially did from this area. So the sellers in here should be a little bit weaker. We also have a ton of liquidity now that we can target on the top side of this area, as well as the Asian highs sitting up here. So that's kind of, this trade is kind of based more so off of liquidity than anything. Now, one thing I've also been doing is paying a lot of attention to my supply and demand zones. We can see we are now getting a rejection out of there. I think I'm going to leave my stop loss where it's at because I think it's nice and protected. So right here, we swept liquidity. We also created what is called an SMT, which is a form of manipulation. So let's go to MNQ really quickly and kind of see what I mapped out here. So you can see we have this sweep of liquidity inside of here. We have imbalance sitting inside of this area. Making this a valid area of demand for us to tap into. So this is my 30-minute demand right here. Now this is where we had a sweep or a false breakout of this area right here, sweeping the London lows and creating an SMT, which is once again a form of manipulation. And we can see on MES, we are stronger. So this SMT formed inside of here. I think this is also an SMT. Let me see. Let me go to TradingView, and that'll give me a better view to see if that is indeed an SMT on the higher time frame, because I think it is. Right here, we go lower. No, it's not. Okay. But maybe inside of here it is. Let me see where that is. Boom. Okay, so no, that's not an SMT right there. But seeing that this is an SMT, we also got a 1 minute break of structure right here after sweeping, of course, all of this liquidity inside of here. So 1 minute break of structure, and that is essentially when I got into my first position, right around like here. And I had my stop loss below the SMT or the sweep. And then my first take profit was right here. And then I have the second one right here. So that kind of breaks down my thought process behind there. I kind of got it under this protected low. I may start to move it up. It depends. But you can see we kind of broke below this low, but then we swept it. And now we're kind of breaking back higher. But we're also sweeping. So we may continue higher. We may continue lower. We did tap into this little small demand area. We'll see what price wants to do. Right now it looks like it wants to push down low. Either way, we're gonna be done for the day. So let's check out the 5 minute structure, or maybe the 15-minute. So we had a push out of this area on the 15-minute. Okay, so yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. Don't really know what's gonna happen, but if we lose this, we'll just be up $30 for the day, which is still cool. I'll still take that. And if we kind of see price rejecting here and continue up, then we have a pretty good win for the day. I also won 90 on this account, so that's good as well. So I'm on 2 different accounts. I'm trading. I feel like that's about it. I don't see any other concerns as far as like, I think SMT's on the way going down, which would have been my main concern. Like if we formed the SMT at the highs, which means we may flip back bearish, because remember the 30-minute or the 1 hour did break below this area right here. We probably have good moving averages starting to flip. They're not flipping fast, but they are starting to try and flip. And once we get that, then we should be set to continue to the upside. So that is probably all for this video. I'm just focused on capital preservation at this point and trying to make sure I keep these accounts alive and survive the market. I kind of want to put this a little bit lower, but this candle did sweep inside of here, but there is some imbalance on here as well. So I'm going to read into that real quick. We can tap down into here and maybe here. So I kind of want to leave this right here and let it do its thing. I like this spot. It's an unmitigated demand zone. So we're going to see how this plays out. I kind of want to enter in again, but that would be slightly greedy in my opinion. So I think I'm just going to leave it. This does look like a good lower time frame setup for the 30 second if we break higher here or even here. So I'm wondering if I should attempt it. I kind of want to. Let me see if there's any other things that we can possibly get out of this area, like any lower time frame SMTs again. We have this low, that's lower. Nope, I'm not really seeing anything at the moment. So Let's see if this area holds. I kind of want to enter. I'm going to enter in that last position. And if it stops us out, then we'll just break even for the day, which is completely fine with me. Put it at 61. So let's see what happens. If we get this 30-second break, then that could be a really good win and a big push to the upside. We did kind of sweep the highs up here as well, so I do expect a slight rejection when we come into here to possibly push us lower, but that could just push us lower to then push us back higher. So that's obviously what I'm hoping for because I'm in buys. And we're going to see now what we can do. So I'm going to set the next TP for this high, and then I'm going to leave the last one up here. This is the untapped demand zone. And there should be a lot of liquidity resting above here as well. Equal highs. We can see they're very equal right here. So it really just depends on if we got it at the right time, or if we're going to dip a little bit lower and then back higher. Let's see how it plays out. We kind of got the sweep of the highs right here, but there's still liquidity resting above. So I think those Asian highs are going to be the target. And then once we hit this first TP, if we hit it, then we're going to set this back to break even most likely, because this should now be a protected low. Well, we're just sitting and waiting to see what happens. But this is liquidity inside of here now. That price seems to be taking. And then we have some imbalance inside of here on the 1 minute that we can justify the sweep and the continuation towards the upside. Since we did sweep up here, I do expect some rejection on the way up. And like I said, for us to potentially get pushed back to the downside. Or we could just have a slow run through of this area. You know, it depends on what price wants to do. We've swept the lows. We've swept the highs. Now, what direction are we going to go in is the question. Hopefully bullish, of course. There's a lot of things that points to the upside at the moment, but we could still go lower because of this 30-minute breaker structure lower, and then tapping into this supply, sweeping this area right here. There's a few things that could send us lower. So, but we also have the Asian highs sitting up here. We also swept London lows, created an SMT at the lows as well. So there's a few things, I think, more that's pushing us up. So now we have a small sweep inside of here. Now the question is, do we sweep inside of here, or do we just continue up and take the high? Let's see what happens. I'm gonna set some alerts, and then I'll go do what I gotta do and see if we hit our price target. Let's see if that's an SMT right there. We have this low, lower low, low. It looks like a small possible SMT. Yes, it is. So that is definitely in our favor. It is a very small SMT inside of here. So let's see if we can hit that high now. I'm going to draw it in here as well. SMT. So we kind of got a possible trend line going inside of here. Now, do we hold and continue up, or do we plummet down? And like I said, there was liquidity right here. So I knew we could potentially sweep it and go lower, but we could also hold this trend line and then continue up higher. I expected some form of consolidation. That's why I have this triangular top and bottom. I see another SMT that just formed on the 1 minute, 2 SMTs at the lows. So beautiful sign right there. Which tells me we were just sweeping to go higher. So now I kind of see what I'm working with. This would be 168. That'll give me 220 on the day. This would give me how much? 80 plus about 180. So 260, 320. And this will give me 220. So another 100. I may risk it. We'll see. since we have two SMTs down here, I'm thinking of moving to break even now, because this honestly should protect me at the lows. And this looks kind of like a flag pattern at this point. So I think we're going to get a hit to the upside. We're going to go ahead and take this order out.
Order filled.
That is beautiful. We can set our stop loss now to break even. And let's see if we can run up and completely hit this this high. So that's going to be my price target now. We may end up getting out of that trade eventually. But right now, I think we're going to hold. And I'm not going to stay on this video for that entire price target to hit. So we are going to finish off the day kind of going over this chart. You can see that I absolutely killed it today. I want to thank God always, of course, for just the knowledge that I've been given. So you can see we made a nice 2.4 R today, and then a little bit more. Well, this was the account that I made the full 2.4 R on. So 336, and then of course I made 89 also on this account that I'm trying to kind of build back up. So beautiful trading day. I think I TP'd, I want to say I TP'd around here, but or yes, around here, because I didn't want to see any pullbacks. I thought we were going to have a continuation to the upside, which you can see we are getting a continuation up. At this moment, we started pushing back down. We ended up breaking structure back to the upside. And now we're headed back up. So I already gave you guys the breakdown. I just kind of wanted to show you guys the results. And that's about it. You can see I thought that we could head higher into this liquidity area because we have all of these equal highs remaining on the top side of the market on ES. And like I said before, I took ES because it was the stronger asset. So most likely what's going to happen is we're going to take the highs on ES, and then we're going to end up having another SMT at the highs, probably around here with NQ, maybe even here. So this is the strong liquidity point. We can see that this is also a strong supply area. So we're going to see what happens next. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.